We make a lot of trash. So we have a big issue. That's just a lot of trash, and trash is not good for the environment. So, look at those pretty birds. Do you see those pretty birds? I'm gonna blow your mind right now. Those pretty birds are really important because people look at the pretty birds and they think, oh, pretty birds. But they're really important in a process known as, well, it's not a process. It's biodiversity. What? Louder? Louder, okay. Biodiversity is the amount and variety of species in a certain ecosystem or habitat. And when you kill one species, it really messes with that biodiversity. One thing gets killed, other things get killed, and it doesn't end up right. So if the rat dies, then everything else dies, and boo-hoo. It's very, very sad. So, biodiversity, yeah. Biodiversity and having a lot of variety is very important because it does stuff like protect against like diseases. Some diseases are adapted to certain species. When you have a lot of species, then your entire ecosystem isn't really screwed up that much because only one thing's dead and not everything else. But also, more importantly, if one thing dies, then the rest of them also die. And that's kind of a bad thing because then you won't have anything to support anything. So if I don't have a plant, then I don't have oxygen, and then no one can breathe, and that's kind of a bad thing. But also, if I don't have a plant with fruits and stuff that's edible, then no one can eat, and that's kind of an icky thing. But how does this have anything to do with trash? It has a lot of things to do with trash. No, get over here and like move the camera. So if I drink a bottle, I produce a lot of waste. And that waste kind of affects, also, stop moving so close. I like personal space. Those pigeons, those birds, I think they're robins, but those pigeons are affected. Like in 2016, I think, people were like, oh my gosh, there's a nose in there's a straw in it. There's a straw in the sea turtles' noses. We gotta stop drinking plastic straws. But the bigger point is, there's a lot of plastic waste. There's microplastics, there's plastic bottles that get into ecosystems, fish get trapped in a bunch of plastic bags. You ever seen Happy Feet 2? There's a penguin in that movie that has plastic on his neck, and he doesn't look too hot. He doesn't look too hot. He has the plastic on his neck, and I bet that feels really bad for him. This is a pollutant in its natural habitat. This is not good, and I bet fishes don't like the taste of this. Or any squirrels that might be passing by. If a squirrel comes here and eats the Kikkoman soy sauce, then that means that the things that kill the squirrel, they're donezo as well. So let's say there's a rare species of squirrel, and there's only one in the entire state, and it eats this. Then the cats, the cats don't eat. Okay, we're changing our thing. There's a rat, and he eats it, and he's like, yum, 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 soy sauce. But then there's a cat that comes along, and the rat's dead because he ate like plastic and aluminum, and he's like, I can't eat the wrapper. When I eat it, I die. So when he dies, the cat doesn't have anything to eat, so the cat's gonna die as well. You wanna know what happens when the cat dies? Then humans will get really sad. But more importantly, bigger cats that eat smaller cats might also be endangered. Maybe even scary dogs that eat the bigger cats. They might eat the little cat, well, the big cats. Well, not like big cats, but like larger cats that eat the smaller cats. But you get the point. There's a lot of things that might go wrong because there are a lot of species in the world that are very important to certain ecosystems. And when you kill one of them, you're affecting a bunch of them. And that's kind of a big issue, especially when you're talking about trash. Yeah, you go, girl. So yeah, like the penguin in Happy Feet 2, you don't want to kill things, because if you kill things, then everything else is affected, and then biodiversity is worsened even more. So, what's the current state of the U.S. and its stance on trashing stuff? Well, a lot of people view recycling as a good alternative to throwing stuff away, but I'm not really sure about that. Because first of all, only 20% of stuff is recycled. The rest of the 80% is just thrown away, which isn't that good on itself. But 16% of the stuff that is recycled is thrown out because it's not actually recyclable. And you want to know what sucks about that? A lot of recycling plants have a model where they push all of the stuff and compact it into pallets. So when one pallet's screwed up, you gotta throw it all out. So if I have a little piece of trash and a big pallet of plastic that I'm gonna sell to, like, I don't know, phone company, then that plastic's all screwed up. You have to throw it all away. We have to start back from square one and just make the plastic on our own, which isn't that very useful. Consider the following.
Consider the following, kid.
Consider the following.
Consider the following.
People, we have our flaws, but one of our biggest flaws is trash, because we make a lot of it. Trash is very bad for animals and also us, so maybe we should work on being better with trash. But there's also another source that creates a lot of this trash, the waste that kills all of our animals and all of our peoples and all of our habitats, and that is industries. Especially oil industries. They really suck because they produce a lot of trash and a lot of waste, and they throw it all out the car. Anyways, so industrial waste is, it's a lot. Especially stuff like leocrate that gets released into habitats and animals can't really eat that stuff. Oh my gosh, it's a kitty! Hi, kitty. Come here.
Consider the following.
And now, a word from Everett James Wold. Well, we have a slight issue. More than 164,000 tons of oil are lost in tanker spills all across the world, and this is an absolutely devastating habitats. One of the most notable cases would be the BP oil spill of 2010, and that was a really bad oil spill. It was like really, really bad. In fact, most of the coastline near the Gulf of Mexico was absolutely covered in oil, spreading across Louisiana, Florida, all these places. It's kind of whack when you think about it. But yeah, anyway, yeah. Is it recording? Watch this. Whoa, guys! I made a green screen. I mean, I traveled realities. Isn't that amazing? How I did that? But anyways, yeah, this is kind of scary. More like countless states are absolutely covered in oil, which is very concerning for the wildlife populations because oil's famously not very consumable. When these animals get a hold of the oil, then they're gonna not have a good time, and when they don't have a good time, then their predators don't have a good time because they can't eat anything, which isn't a good thing. And then this throws off the entire biodiversity system that is put in place. And it's all thanks to BP. BP, the great guys at British Petroleum, and their fantastic efforts to be good at being a company. And they're so great, in fact, that they pushed the blame on us as the consumers and said, guess what? You're the problem. and they said that you are the one who's the issue, and you need to change your life to change the environment. And they ignored the fact that they accidentally covered the entire southern Gulf of Mexico with oil. My point is, I really hate BP. The Deep Sea Horizon spill is the biggest spill in US history, releasing 134 million gallons of oil, killing 11 people in the process and injuring 17 people on the actual rig itself, but doing immeasurable damage across the entire Gulf of Mexico. On April 22nd, 2010, the Deep Sea Horizon rig capsized due to a failing core made of concrete and the pressure not being able to hold in said concrete core, causing the entire thing to fall over and a bunch of oil to be released into the ocean, which historically never was seen on the scale that it was seen at scale. It affected more than 82,000 birds, 6,000 sea turtles, and an unknown amount of fish. The scale I do have good news, which is the fact that oil spills are kind of decreasing, despite the increase of actual oil tankers, which is kind of a good thing, and very much, actually, not kinda, very much a good thing. Since 1970, like, look at the graph here, woo, it goes all the way down, which is a great, wonderful, fantastic thing. But we still have to be cool. And a lot of the issues that sprung from the Deepwater Horizon spill was caused by mechanical and engineering issues with the actual core itself. So first of all, let's just fix that up. Like, let's not screw up our engineering and actually make our cores with materials that won't crack under the pressure. But still, yeah, it's kind of surprising. I don't really know how, but these oil companies, these big oil tycoons, they're somehow managing. So whoop-de-doo. But yeah, still, they're still pieces of crap. But yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing that's doing. So states that produce less trash actually end up producing less landfill gas, which in turn means less things killed. So, therefore, you should maybe, like, not throw your stuff away and recycle. Just a thought. Maybe. Well, anyways, you can move the camera up a bit. Yeah, thank you. So anyways, thanks for attending my project today. I hope you have a good weekend and a good summer, but also I hope that you learned something, and you should probably not trash so much, and maybe have a good day knowing that oil tankers are going on a decline with their releasages, which is always a good thing. But yeah, so anyways, bye.